Right, Smolder. Oh boy. Volibear Ari. Okay, so Volibear technically is a flex pick that you can save till later in the draft. Nico and Nautilus. Rel, super strong jungler right now. Again, possible jungle support flex, so you're not really showing anything. Take out Vi and Jin Zhao, so skirmish junglers off the table a little bit. And TF and Kaisa. So they take out some backline lockdown because they want to take Zeri into the Smolder. So we're seeing the scaling AD handshake. And the Nautilus, though, is good into Zeri, right? Allows you to actually get locked down by using a targeted CC on the ultimate, and Lee Sin can still get into the backline in order to attack her. And it will be Renekton in the top side. This is a very powerful 2v2 right now. This is super powerful, guys. Very, very dangerous 2v2 in the top side. Also, the setup here in the 2v2 in mid, very good because you can Volibear Q into Charm from Ahri. Sets up a stun directly into an Ahri Charm, so the combo potential is very good. And you can press the attack down, so Ahri does a gazillion damage with Charm and follow-up abilities. So pretty dangerous top side of the map. And then we have Mega Smolder scaling in the bottom side, obviously. Big flank potential. They do have the tools, though, to lock down the Ahri in the mid and late game. Meanwhile, you know, part of the problem that they're going to encounter is that who kills Smolder, right? You know, you can fight front to back, but this is hard. You can't really get through the Nautilus, Aatrox, Nico because of the crowd control. So Ahri flanks maybe, but it seems pretty hard to access the Smolder and put pressure on him in the late game.
It's just about like how easy does he have necessarily access to the backline. Maybe he takes more of like a peeling role and actually just works with Flacket to make sure that he stays alive because the kick is a very effective disengage tool. But then how effective is it against things like Ahri that can like dash across multiple...
Do you watch the LCS trash as I promised yesterday? I haven't watched the Cloud9 versus Shopify game yet, guys. That might be a tomorrow project. I decided to watch the very entertaining, actual banger FPX versus JDG series.
To see how things play out. I'm not entirely
in current history with teams like BDS. Fnatic not getting there is only a disappointment, so it has to be a better spring. It has to start here because Team Heretics, I mean, as we saw in their recent game, we saw that Team Heretics that we kind of talked
Which
about in spring.
Denis Villeneuve movies are you watching on 4Play? Arrival, Prisoner, Sicario, and Dune.
I look at this team and I go, well, mid-jungle's not going to be slow control. It feels like that is where the Barney is going to start. There's going to be a lot of engage tools in the early game.
I feel like that mid-jungles on both sides are pretty strong. You've got a lot of setup from both Nico and Ahri, and then the follow-up potential damage is very real. Heretics, of course, looking to get some early vision already. They would drop the ward on the red buff to see where Razork is starting. When I think of Razork, he is a jungler that likes to do things early.
Volibear is one of, you know, Razork and Elyoya's signature picks. So kind of fun to see him back, especially Elyoya, actually. I think about early Elyoya rookie season. I think a lot about Volibear.
That's a good engage, though, by Judy. Gets a double knockdown as Trimby gets ignited straight away. Noah on the ghost, but for Team Heretics, they're converging on this location. Spyro doesn't walk in, so at least some damage done. But for Trimby and Flacket, look at the timing in lane. 1 minute 38.
Yeah, pretty bad for Trimby to take that much damage early on.
Now trying to walk into Heretics' side of the map.
That's a good engage, though, by Judy. Gets a double knockdown as Trimby gets ignited straight away. Noah on the ghost, but for Team Heretics, they're converging on...
I see them now trying to walk into Heretics' side of the map.
That's a good engage, though, by Judy. Gets a double knockdown.
Very good engage by Jin, actually.
Noah on the ghost, but for Team Heretics, they're converging on this location.
That is a big balls play, by the way, because Razork isn't there, and Jankos is doubling back. And Humanoid is walking backwards. This, you could easily see how this could go very badly. I mean, Noah has to use Ghost just because the threat of the collapse from this side is scary.
Spyro doesn't walk in, so at least some damage done. But for Trimby and Flacken, look at the timing in lane. 1 minute 38 on the top of your scoreboard. They're going to have to walk to lane pretty low here.
Yeah, they're cautious about Noah and Jun moving up into that bush in the lane. As you rightly said, they're going to have to take the long way around. They're going to be late to the farm. They're likely going to lose a bit of...
That is a very risky invade, though. That could have easily gone super wrong, I think, for Fnatic.
Some of the champions in game here, Vedius. Ones like, you know, Shyvana's son down in the bottom lane.
Stop.
The daughter as well of Lilia.
Stop it.
Sorry, that's actually the mother, I think.
You're creating a fictional canon that doesn't exist.
It could, though.
I mean,
When do we get the superhero movies in Fort Play? I think we could put together like 4 decent superhero movies for Fort Play. That's not outrageous. X-Men First Class and X-Men, especially X-Men Days of Future Past, are both very good. Like, legitimately good movies.
stop it, okay?
The original Superman movies, the Christopher Reeve Superman, are not bad. Those are pretty fun.
Every time he presses that
There
button,
are thousands of dragons in the world
and only
of
one
Runeterra.
we know of.
What are you talking about? There's Infernal Drake, there is Cloud Drake,
but they don't
there is
have names.
Hextech Drake. They have names.
Imagine your name is Welshman. You know?
Well, it's not my fault that League chooses
Mystery
not to
Men,
put
please.
dragons
We've
in
talked about Mystery Men. Richard watched it again recently and said it doesn't hold up very well.
They're just lambs of the slaughter.
I haven't seen it since it came out, so I have fond memories of it, and the cast is obviously very good, but apparently it's just not good.
It means that Noah wants to base and Jun doesn't want to go back yet, so he's looking for a play on the map. Razork looking for an invade, knowing how strong he is, has push in both top and mids. Oscar Renin is going to
Blade is good.
down to help him secure this objective. And Jankos doesn't have the support to do anything. Is he going to try and steal?
Well, a Sonic Wave is easy to get with a smite, but to get it past Oscar Renin, I don't think so. Good attempt. Nice attempt. Razork, good face tanking at least. And again, we see a volley bear just invading the enemy jungle. There's such a strong jeweler early on. I think that's what we kind of forgot, not seeing him in the meta for a while. Sky Splitter has huge shield, huge AP damage at level 1. And no one wants to face off.
Now, our observers are highlighting for us, but both Scuttle Crabs secured for Fnatic because Razork taking the top one. They know exactly where Jankos is. They had that window in the bot side of the map to move into the river and secure that objective. And Fnatic off to a great start. We talked about how Razork loves to do things in the early game. He clears his bot side, takes his Raptors, and then immediately, with the pressure that he has, creates an invade. To support him.
Let's get back into it. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just small children meltdown things. It's okay.
And this is overall, I've been impressed with Fnatic this split. I feel like that they've grown pretty significantly from what we saw from them in winter. Of course, it is only the regular season, but we think back to winter. Oscar Renin did not have a good playoffs. He really was struggling.
Yeah, usually my viewership spikes in the chair stream moments.
Wasn't the best either. Now it feels like that everyone is playing on all 4 cylinders as Razork looks for a dive in top lane.
Yeah, speak of one of them, right? I mean, Razork diving this is the start for Wonder, the flash for Flash, and as the bear claws come out, now Oscar Renin for the slide.
Very nicely played by Fnatic.
Good night, isn't it? Oscar Renin with first blood, and that's one way to start off the game.
No TP available for Wonder. Look at that huge wave which is lost in the top lane.
Massive wave lost in the top side.
Just disappear into the void. And Oscar
And a plate too with Demolish. Woo, sexy.
Level 6 very soon.
Or is he going to get 2 plates?
Finds himself in a very serious
1,000 gold lead for the Renekton? Wow.
You help your jungler helps you. Razork, level 5, knows the top side of the map. There's no camps. There's no reason for Jankos to be here. The stacked wave is primed and ready. They set up the dive, and they make the dive work. Very well played from Fnatic in this early game. Heretics with the cross map are going to secure the dragon for themselves. Pretty much the best case scenario for them. But Jankos finds himself behind. The top now finds themselves behind as well.
Jun flash engage, pop blossom up. That slows down time. Tangle bars might turn into a kill for the forward kick. Jankos not finding too much. Of course, it was just a Sonic Wave as Ignite goes down onto Jun, but a Shattering Strike gets him out of there. Humanoid also alive. Man, Jun just lives here, but this time at least Jankos is on time to punish.
Here's Razork.
Spyro, a lot of time for Jankos to turn this one around. Razork, though, no flash, looking for something.
No ulti either, might slow the play down. Trimby with the dredge line gets on out as Jun is thinking about the re-engage. Humanoid.
All ends up being...
He still doesn't have 6 for the dive.
Going down on either side. Razork moves again into the top side once again, and Jankos realizes there's nothing he can do. Volibear showing this game and the previous one how strong he is in the other game.
Yep.
It's just it's the W that gives you so much power. Going to tick over to level 6, and they're going to dive him again.
Stormbringer time. Okay, turret about to turn off for a predetermined period of time. Doesn't even need it. Doesn't even need it. I mean, this is a nightmare for Wonder.
I mean, it is. It's a nightmare that he wishes he could wake up from. But unfortunately for him, the reality is just as scary. Level 5 isn't able to tick over to level 6. 3 plates taken over in the top lane. The grub's now going to be secured for Razork. And this top side of the map, what can Jankos even do?
Well, nothing with Jun now on the move as well. Jankos a level behind. He's going to try look for the steal, walking forward. No, he didn't actually find that in the end with the smite. That was Razork who picks up 2. Now for Jankos, just wants the remnants, want this first grub so that he can get a smite down. But
Razork has ult, remember.
You're right, he can kill him. Is it going to be worthwhile? Jankos,
Oh my god.
bring it on down, and that hurts. PT has
He's
reacted.
really going hard on that. Lee Sin doesn't have kick.
Meanwhile, Mummy comes to the bottom side because Flacker just throws her out, but Razork looking for Jankos yet again. Wonder's now joined the party. Humanoid coming up. I believe he has Spirit Rush available once again. No one dies in the end, but Razork just affirming how strong he is in the jungle.
Jankos gets away with murder there. Steals a grub. Is able to
Love my content. Thank you very much. Should have a new power rankings out later this week.
Ancient thunder god will exist in the hearts of Heretics as Razork makes his presence known on the top side of the map. What can I mean? You look at the
Razork doesn't have ult, but I guess he just doesn't care. There's enough damage right now. Eclipse is already finished for Oscar and in.
I think Jankos is going to get there in time. The problem is Humanoid is now
Wonder's so poor. And Humanoid's here. Jankos doesn't have 6. Charm. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, he's not dead? Uh-oh. Zuiru's here. He's got flash. He's level 5, though. Oh, he's level 7. Okay, I was like, that's weird. Why is he 2 levels below Humanoid with the same CS?
problem is Humanoid is now joining the party.
Trying to see if Oscar in has ult as well. 3 versus 2, as you said. Spirit Rush starts it off. The World Ender out. Humanoid gets the charm, though. Nicely done. Wonder does have healing, though, and they haven't finished the job. Razork, without the Stormbringer, makes this a messy dive. Sonic Wave also has its own damage.
Takes a huge amount of damage coming back through that.
Sus minion. Charm doesn't connect. I wonder who that is. Well,
He's trying just to trade 1 for 1. He actually nearly succeeds in killing Jankos there.
Team Heretics are probably laughing at that one.
They finally get a punish onto the aggression of.
Did you see Yamato's voice of Yamato where he said you and Doa and Faker are the reasons LCK got so big in the West? Which voice of Yamato was that one?
Means that they don't actually have enough damage to kill Wonder. And it
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It was mostly, you know, Faker helped a little bit, but if we're being honest, it was mostly MonteCristo.
We look back at this dive. Humanoid commits the first use of his ultimate. And then what tries to
Something tells me Faker had a bigger impact on that than I did.
Bit of an interrupt. Oscar in it then feels like he has to disengage because he doesn't have any damage left.
Huh? How do we get here? Spyro flashes over the wall. Jun is once again putting in the legwork on that metal horse. But Spyro does have to burn a flash to get out, which is part of the engage tool. Betty, even though Fnatic have the early game here, if we take stock, it's a 3k gold lead, but I mean, that topside dive.
Would you ever do a VOD review of the semifinals and finals of Worlds 23? I did VOD reviews of every single Worlds game in 2023, guys.
How well can you keep Flacket alive? And Oscar in it.
Faker only started playing League because he wanted to be casted by you. Technically, I did predate Faker. And he told me privately, he came up to me and he said, Monty,
They have big, sharp
I wanted to become a professional League of Legends player simply so you could describe my greatness. That's what he said.
Him and NASA's just guys that like reading books and don't want anyone to touch them.
No, I do believe that they are in fact gods, or ascended, if nothing else.
Yeah.
They're one of them.
Wrath is just some guy who went into like a mechanic op shop and just picked up all the parts. Team Heretics are once again getting dope, and guess what? It's Wonder again. Holy moly, can someone give him a break? Went into like a mechanic op shop and just picked up all the parts. Team Heretics are once again getting dope, and guess what? It's Wonder again.
Just getting chain CC'd under the turret. No Volibear ult necessary again.
0 and 3, leave him alone.
No, is their answer to that.
Which is probably smart.
He is not allowed to play League of Legends today. 30 CS down.
Then Mad Life at all of Korea clapped. Yep, you got it.
2.2k the goal deficit. Dragon is available, but the resets have actually come through from Fnatic.
Faker also privately dedicated his first World Championship win to me, guys.
Ari's ultimate was used, but they still have a few available. Jankos has managed to catch up a little bit in terms of experience, but you look at the bottom.
And he said, Monty, thank you for believing in me. Without your faith, I would not have won my first world title.
Only 11 minutes in.
We didn't even get to talk about bot side. There's about a 15 CS lead in bot as well for the Zeri that, you know, we're talking about Team Heretics trying to buy time for Flacken on this Smolder. Zeri is Smolder 0.5 or Smolder is Zeri 2.0, I'm not sure.
It's one of the
Oscar in 2 levels up. This game is crazy.
Look at this down bot. Razork and Joy
It's such a dominant performance, and Razork just now turning his attention to getting Flacked pretty far behind
Good too, as they find another plate in bot.
onto the Smolder.
what they're after.
And his huge leads across the board. Feeling probably pretty good for Fnatic, but
And Oscar in, and he
they have to convert this Renekton lead into a lot of objectives.
He could show up anywhere on the map. He has that unleashed teleport at his disposal. There's nothing that Wonder can do in this matchup. You look at the itemization difference, and you could say that Oscar Renin is eclipsing him in terms of itemization. Dragon
All right,
spawn.
buddy, I'll see you later.
Dragon.
Good one.
Medic would be proud. Dragon gonna be secured for Fnatic.
They can go get 5 grubs and get grub buff off of this. Okay, 4 grubs. 5 grubs. It feels amazing for Fnatic. What an excellent early game.
Series.
There you go.
Only looking better coming into this split.
Well,
I mean,
they do have analyst extraordinaire Trimby, you know, from Winter. It always helps going from analyst to pro player.
I mean, that is on the side of Heretics, of course, yeah. We're still
yes,
trying
right.
to figure out if they're better or not, because, I mean, that's my biggest question.
Faker also had a Worlds drought until Monty returned to League. All I'm going to say, guys, is the following statement. Faker has never won the World Championship
They are indeed. You know,
in a year that I was not living in Korea.
it's because for Team Heretics, I mean, they're the ones that have made the changes to
That they have.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Sitting there
I'm just going to put that out there.
thinking, man, how are they going to look this split? Because without Perks, who didn't have the greatest winter, but has a huge history over the course of LCS, LEC, with a lot of success throughout, how are they going to bring this rookie in and try and achieve similar results? We can talk about that later. There's his answer. Good tangle bob over the course of LCS, LEC, with a lot of success throughout. How are they going to bring this rookie in?
Humanoid has Flasher, by the way, and ult up, and he still gets caught by this pick. It's a good pick. It's a good pick because he is the melee minion at the start of the wave, so Humanoid actually can't count it in time. Very nicely played.
There you go. Spyro comes in with a really good setup for Team Heretics.
I think that's why Nico can be a really good matchup into Ari, just because of the amount of chain CC you have to set up for your jungler. Jankos there with a quick follow-up. They find a pick. Unfortunately for them, I don't know if they can convert it into a huge amount. They're looking at that bot tier 1 right now. The tower is still very healthy, though. Jern and Razok are forcing their way in.
Trying to get anything at this point in terms of gold bounties.
Way down. TPs are available.
Flash Magnet Storm comes through. Spyro
Yeah, unfortunately,
that little pick and his tangle
Zwairu already used
it won't buy his life.
his sums and
Double TP from Fnatic.
Are available.
his rocket belt, so not a lot you can do there.
2 minutes, so that TP isn't going to be available. And
No,
now
it's
you've
not.
left Humanoid Ice. We're already winning out in the 3 versus 3.
Wait, they just leave?
Everyone down here. Dragon going to be spawning in 2 minutes, so that TP isn't going to be available.
They just leave and make a TP play with Wonder? Oh, man.
His ulti available, I believe, with Flash there too. He burns that first.
I like how Humanoid dies and then TP's in and then dies again. Classic.
To punish the over-ambition of Fnatic bot.
I mean, a really nice.
Maybe the ult
Dragon going to be spawning
and Fnatic are like, go.
a little excessive.
So-
I feel,
Probably.
I'm not even sure why we're recalling here, guys. Are we recalling... You know, you have this area in the mid lane. Are we recalling to make a Herald play? Why not just take this turret?
spawning in 2 minutes, so that TP
Like, they literally just leave Humanoid alone here.
isolated.
He does have his ulti available, I believe, with Flash there too. He burns that first. Maybe the ulti's just off cooldown. There we go.
I guess they were recalling to go take Herald.
Onto Human left. Then double TPs in. Teammate.
Of setting up some of these picks.
So they were trying to make a Herald play, and it's a split call by Fnatic, and they leave Humanoid there.
And right now,
Just a little bit greedy on the recall timing. They could have gotten the turret and still gotten Herald.
With the Dragon practice stacks, that now puts it into an arc. We're waiting for less than 100 more that give it the execute. And we've seen already, I mean, Smolders can win fights. They can 1v3, 1v4.
They can.
At 3 item mark on top of the execute, like, some of those Qs can destroy the backline. And for Fnatic, you know, we're talking about an Ahri, a Zeri that want to get into the fight, want to get into range. One miss execute, and Flacket has their number with the cleanse.
That he does turn things around. Aatrox is also just a champion that I think does scale very well. I think the more items he gets, the more he can definitely do cooldowns. He gains so much value from.
True.
And his presence.
Kind of a weird build, though, because you're going Sundered Sky, Aatrox this game instead of Profane Hydra, so you're not actually going lethality. He's much more of an HP tank. Which, to be fair, in this game, where he might have to be much more of a frontliner, like, he actually probably just wants to run frontline interference against Volibear and Renekton rather than flanking here. Because he has the Smolder who will stack up to 225, so I think it's probably more valuable for him to get tankier and just serve as a frontliner.
So it will once again go to Fnatic. Mountain Soul, by the way, folks. One more to the list here for Fnatic as they pick up this.
Actually, see that work.
He probably thinks, he's trying to be clever.
But yeah, so Oscar Ridden. You know, I'm the person that probably falls for Nico the most.
Oh, really?
As in, like, earlier I saw Smolder in mid, and I was like, oh, they put Smolder mid, and then I was like, nope, that's Nico. When she first came onto the Rift, I was falling for it every time.
You know what bothers me so much coming through? Just show me Nico.
Setting up for this mid tier 1. As Humanoid pushes out this wave, you can rotate with his team back up towards mid, start chipping away at the tower. They have the Herald. They've chosen not to throw it down just yet, but this is very clearly...
Smolder's at I think it says 165. It's kind of small.
Continues to round up, working towards that second item.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close, though. It's more like a 25-minute-er, probably. Did I watch the G2 game? Yes, I already watched it.
Once again.
These 2 items, by the way, Sundered Sky just picked up.
Now, look, we find that
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these Smolder games. I just think it's boring, because now we're just opting into, like, scaling handshakes in the bot side, and it's just dull.
Seeing it on your screen right now, he can just buy so much time. The WQ combo is such an effective wave clear tool. Fnatic are forcing their way into the bot side jungle. There's no wave in mid to fight over, so they're assisting Humanoid as he pushes out bot, looking for a potential pick. They may have found
Flash,
it.
Magnet Storm, double shattering strike. Trimby tries to stop the rest of the cavalry coming through. Jankos has to safeguard out. No summoners burnt, though. Fnatic tried to find a pick. They used the Flash Engage and Ignite from Jun for that.
I would imagine. I'm actually very surprised that they're using the Herald bot. I would have imagined that they use that pressure and the health advantage to then rotate over to mid to then unlock that tower, but they're very committed to securing this tier 2 in the bot lane. The Herald's going to take it down to about half.
Look at all the family around it, though. I mean, they've got 5 grubs for a reason. Noah now setting up. It's
that tower, but they're very committed to
That's cute.
This tier 2 in the bot lane. The Herald's going to take it down to about half.
Look at all the family around.
I mean, they're trying to use Nico to actually get back into this game. And Noah does not know that Nico is there. That's very funny.
Oh my lord! I think he was disguised there.
He was disguised as a minion.
That's so. I mean, Zwyroo's doing well this game of making creative plays to try and get him back into it.
Surprise. Excellent acting skills. We just had the Oscars and the health.
He didn't count. I mean, I'm not sure. I think it's super reasonable to have counted in that situation.
Herald's going to take it down to about half.
Look at all the family around it, though. I mean, they've got
right.
5 grubs for a reason. Noah now setting.
He's kind of just in a clump of other melee minions.
Oh my lord! I think he was disguised there.
He was disguised as a minion, and he thought he was in a 1v1. The Nico catching another by surprise. Excellent acting skills. We just had the Oscars. Unfortunate for Zwyroo, because he would have won a nomination for that. Look at this. So he turns into a minion, takes the front of the queue. Now, if you're counting those, but Noah's looking at bot lane right now. He's like, oh, I see a skirmish on the bot side of the map.
True.
And he's still not counting. So to him, it just looks like another set.
It's a little hard to count them quickly, right?
Oh, wow.
Throws the ultimate out, catches Noah completely off guard. Impressive stuff.
It's picks like that. We keep talking about it.
I mean, they just laugh, right? They have to laugh.
Because what else would you do? Like, oh man, that's rough. I mean, props to Spyro. It was two ganks now, I think, that again have given picks over to team. And Anna. Hey, is it Casey? actually look a lot better this
Problem is the Mountain Soul coming up is
use the word again. A bit of a Barney as Fnatic.
very dangerous.
That dragon is loud. Shyvana, turn it down. Bit of sneezing on the rift on the side as well. Flacket. It's kind of weird that a champion has that.
I'd be very upset with you.
I don't care. There's no way that they release Zyra Khan, they release the lovers, right? Is there any dragon? There's
No.
two dragons on the
Too
rift.
reductionist
Aurelion
for
Sol could
me.
be the father. Yeah, which one?
The Mountain Dragon.
Okay.
An avenue of access into the river. The mid wave is being contested. Humanoid Heretics actually moving towards the top side of the map. They didn't want to cross map this to that top tower. Question mark pings on whether or not Humanoid is sitting in that brush.
Yeah. But I mean, he has ulti available. He's got flash as well. Yankas might come up here, but Humanoid sees it coming. Good charm. Orb doesn't matter. Team Heretics just wants some objective bounty gold, while Soul Point is now achieved by Fnatic. How much is this gold going to mean? Because I guess you got the Smolder, but again, they're still trailing behind in gold massive.
Blackett.
Just about. But Team Heretics, the kickback though is too early. Jun also flashes away, but that Sonic Wave is illegal! Yeah. Good pick. Hang on, Sonic Wave as well. Dredgeline knock up. This is great. But Team Heretics, the kickback though is too early. Jun also flashes away, but that Sonic
I can't believe he gets that Sonic Wave down.
Kickback though is too early. Jun
That is crazy.
also flashes away, but that
Because that gives him the opportunity to actually go in off of that and pick up a kill.
Sin, baby. As Mum doesn't do anything in the back line, but the Pop Blossom. Team Heretics, the kickback though is too early. Jun also flashes away, but that Sonic Wave is illegal.
I think he thinks this is actually Smolder too. Oh, no, he doesn't. He can't think it's... Oh, actually, he does because he doesn't see the ult yet, I don't think, from Smolder. So he may think that is actually Smolder.
As Mum doesn't do anything in the back line, but the Pop Blossom might. The knockup's good. Zyru sets up for another Oscar in the back line too. A double root while Smolder...
225 stacks is here.
In the wing, sending out the breath, spitting on them all.
Oh, God, he got the shutdown.
The rest of it, and Team Heretics bide their time once again in a game.
And now it's just Baron. Jesus.
Fnatic can't lock down a single member.
That's so absurd.
225 stacks now secured
There you go.
by Flacket.
Casual 5k gold lead
Phidias, calm down.
just evaporates because Smolder just hit 225 stacks.
Good pick. Hang on, Sonic Wave as well. Dredgeline knock up. This is great.
I mean, it's good that they take advantage of the situation where it's just Jun and Razork.
Back though is too early.
And Zweiru is very tricky.
Sonic Wave is
I legitimately think they thought this was the real Smolder because they don't see the ult coming in yet by the time the engage goes down with the charm and
doesn't do anything
the
in back
ultimate
line, but the Pop Blossom might. The knockup's good.
from Razork.
Up for another Oscar in the back line too.
But Flacket actually gets a huge flank onto the back line as a result of this because all their engage goes over here and then they get pop blossomed. Right? And Flacket's able to do a bunch of damage straight over the wall. Now he gets a free flank where he can apply Q on top of everybody. EE's out.
Flap in the wing, sending out the breath.
It's a perfect positioning for the Smolder.
Flacket carrying the rest of it, and Team Heretics bide their time once again. And Sin. Hang on, Sonic Wave as well. Dredgeline.
He transformed on top of a ward.
Heretics, the kickback, though, is too
Yeah.
early. Jun also flashes away, but
That's true, but the thing is that they probably just got distracted by this because they don't know where Smolder actually is on the map.
great. But Team
And obviously Razork is probably looking up here right now.
Heretics, the kickback, though, is too early.
And so they don't know necessarily where the Nico went, even though they do see that the Nico was CCing them over the wall.
Good pick. Hang on, Sonic Wave as well. Dredgeline knock up. This is great.
But
Team
it can be a mistake, guys, but I do just think that they probably thought that that was Smolder. Otherwise, obviously, you don't double dash at him if you think there's a Pop Blossom coming through. Lighthead TV, thank you. Any primers?
As Mum doesn't do
Just
anything
you,
in the back
buddy.
line, but the Pop Blossom might. The
Nobody wants to give me their Bezos bucks. It's tragic.
Oscar in the back line too. A double root while Smolder's doing the thing. Flap in the wing, sending out the breath, spitting on them all. Flacket carrying the rest of it, and Team Heretics bide their time once again and again.
Did they throw the lead for a Grump? Yep, they sure did.
Knock up. This is just about. I see 2-2-2 Phidias.
They got horny for Grump, guys.
There we go. There we go. Future, eh? Good pick. Hang on, Sonic Wave as well.
Did they have to do Grump?
This is great.
Absolutely not.
The kickback though is too early. It's up for another of it.
dominating this Gromp throughout the entire game, but now they say not today. Initial pick onto Jun, then the re-engage comes through, but look, they can't actually lock down Spyro. That means that Razo gets focused down. The flank from Oscar Rinin, his target is changing multiple times from Spyro to Jankos to whoever he can hit. Then a great re-engage from Wonder. That flash was beautiful onto both Noah and Humanoid to lock his target up to allow them to win
Mad quote
the fight.
Trumby cheering for his life. I mean, this new Team Heretics. But Team Heretics, then you the Humanoid has flash available. The West has found Humanoid. Spirit Rush out. Jankos is playing with him.
It was dominated by Razork, but a single fight was all very similar between the two top laners. Wonder level 16, pushing down that
Power play. Gonna have to work that out. 3K top left if anyone could use their eyes but me.
I feel like the Heretics comp just has so much damage, you know? Like, Humanoid does have that great initial pick potential, but once that initial burst is gone, if he's not getting those resets on the ult, then it becomes hard for him to really contribute that much else. Noah, of course, yes, can be a powerhouse in the fights, but you're dealing with Wonder, Spyro, and Flackhead who all just have like a lot of well, I say consistent. Spyro provides so much zone control in the fight that we look back at that previous fight. The moment the re-engage comes through from Razork, Humanoid was zoned off because he didn't want to get hit by that ulti, and that actually bought enough time for Heretics to then get that kill onto Razork. No Baron left, but the Dragon spawning in 20 seconds.
All right, it's still potentially salvageable, but it's going to be really difficult now that the gold lead is there. And like, I don't know how they get Volibear and Renekton onto the Smolder. Like, who is supposed to kill the Smolder? How do you get through the front line? Oh, he built Profane Hydra second after Sundered Sky. Interesting. I thought he might have gone for a more frontline Bruiser build. Like Sundered Sky into Sterix, which is what Lee Sin has, what Jankos has.
Heretics are taking it nice and slow.
Heretics buying time. Fnatic looking for any angle that they can find. Jankos aware of the flank from Jun. Oscar hanging on the back, and Wonder's keeping him at bay. Flacker trying to assist Wonder there. Nice Q. Oscar now 50% HP.
Oh, he might actually die here. I mean, getting slowed down. Wonder absorbs the damage.
Nice
flash over from Trimby.
At bay, Flacker trying to assist Wonder there. Nice Q. Oscar now 50% HP.
Oh, he might actually die here. I mean, getting slowed down. Wonder absorbs the damage. Flash over from Trimby.
Yeah, very nice by Trimby. And look at that. Spyro's been really good on this Nico this game, guys. Credit to him. I mean, starts channeling it, flashes over, hits the 3-man, straight into Smolder ult. He dead. He pop.
He has his eyes set on Oscar Rinin. Flack it over the wall.
He pop now. Pop, 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 pop.
It was such a great love that initiate makes the call. Wait, we can actually turn on him. My team is close enough. And then they are not.
Yeah. I mean, Zyro's making some very creative Nico plays. He's certainly a big factor into why they've come back into this one, right? Stalfos 25. This minute, I am big raccoon. Very good. Thank you for resubscribing with Prime. I appreciate it.
This is the problem. A great engagement as Blacker gets locked on down. He's already killed so many people. Damage getting elongated is such a pain. As now as we group up towards mid, I mean, Fnatic are trying to pick. They look so desperate here, but as Trimby.
I mean, they pull Trimby into that.
He says, "How do you like me?" Fnatic are trying to pick. They look so desperate here, but as Trimby hooks it. As now as we group up towards mid, I mean, Fnatic are trying to pick. They look so desperate here, but as Trimby.
Trimby hooks in, ults volley, Q down from Smolder onto volley. They all go in, get Pop Blossom. Nobody can kill Flackid because they can't get to the back line. Humanoid goes pop, pop, pop. Oh, they finally got him, guys. It's too bad it cost them absolutely everything.
It's all we have left. That was the best Fnatic could do. Now as this Renekton tries to fight it out, I just don't think he has it in him. Going away, slice and dice. Baron is like, what the heck is happening here?
Chains. There we go. All right.
And even though
the return hook, frustration, Currently standing on a ward. Hook.
Red line again. Razork knocked on up, and you can just see this damage. Stormbringer's
Thing is, Volibear's pretty useless in the late game, guys.
doesn't even get to talk to the bear.
He is not very strong or useful
As well.
late. You have to get those early game advantages.
Some sort of miracle happen. This is Heretics' game to lose. An impressive bounce back from them. It was a tough early game, but just like we saw in the previous one, they found their bounce back. And they're looking good.
I think Nautilus needs to be banned. 2 games in a row. I think the angle in securing a victory in this game.
It was very much about top lane fight that we saw. There wasn't any backline threat. Oscar TP'd onto the backline. Threats on the side of the success for a set
Through bot that have now led them through this mid lane turret push. The punishment of Fnatic
is viral.
second. Turret just falls down by itself.
About 50 seconds.
Okay, not bad. I remember growing up, you know, calling out for mum. It was a 30-second cooldown max.
How do you balance Smolder? You can't. Because they want him to be a noob champ, so they can't make stacking too difficult because it takes noobs too long. So he just is going to be giga powerful at the professional level when they can stack very quickly. I mean, it's very clear that professional players should not be allowed to stack to 225 by 21 or 22 minutes into the game, guys.
Kind of just getting push off the last piece of the Baron. 10 seconds till expires. Another good 3K-ish Baron power play.
And this game. Thunder as well. We think about how devastating this early game was. Q's can do
Disguising slow
right now, but
Very slow closeout here, but they just don't want any flanks onto Flackid, ruining this game.
the knockup comes through. Trippy re-engages though. Spyro's taking all the damage.
Wow, Flackid actually just walks into Razork's stun? What?
Fnatic definitely going to feel the aftereffects of this jerk.
Why are...
Again, very loud.
Like, they're trying to... He's trying to go onto Noah, so he flap-flaps up here, but Razork just flash stuns him.
But the kick from Yankos comes back.
Whatever, I guess he has arm guard, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's still alive. Very moment, ladies and gentlemen, but is Smolder too much? You have to ask. No. Oscar Rinnan sends him to the deep end. That little baby dragon now dead and harvested.
I don't understand why we don't just fight front to back. You know what I mean? All right, why are we committing suicide on Smolder?
But Zeri was here first.
Wow, some very fancy feet coming out from Fnatic, and that amount of damage that they did onto him initially was enough to keep him away. Loses. He is that minion getting close, trying to catch the opponents off guard. The engage from Jun, and then look at that, 50% HP gone. He's now forced to retreat immediately. The fight is a 3 versus 4 as Oscar Rinnan is keeping Wonder busy on the sides. And so they can actually play this front to back. Zeri is left largely untouched on the back line.
Flackid and this is why Rue didn't have a chance to do anything that fight.
Age from Jun, and then look, Fnatic had a lot more freedom, so keep your eyes on Spyro here, and look at how much health he loses. He is that minion getting close, trying to catch the opponents off guard. The engage from Jun, and then look at that, 50% HP gone. He's now forced to retreat immediately. The fight is a 3 versus 4 as Oscar Rinnan is keeping Wonder busy on the sides. And so they can actually play this front to back. Zeri is left largely untouched on the back line. Flackid loses a lot of HP. Oscar Rinnan finally gets on top of
Oh, the Nico ult. He's so afraid because he doesn't want to die.
connect onto anyone. Very well played fight from Fnatic.
Fnatic just picked up Baron.
Earlier, it's still 2 minutes.
Remember that execute there as he burns down Sterak's Gage. Buys him time, but Oscar Rinnan's going to have to TP back without...
No one can really reach from Fnatic. Plant
Oh, okay.
to the right targets. Keep your eyes on Flackid here. Trapped in the pit rather, but does of course have his E to get to safety. Where is Spyro? He's a plant!
Oh, okay. Sneaky for the time being. Pop Blossom is there. As he goes golden, he finds Humanoid over the wall, and Mum helps out, but Spyro is in the middle, and 2 is dead, but the burn down! They try so hard to get the Flackid, but look at him go! He's 12 years old, and he's taken on God! Jun runs in. Everyone runs in. But
They just have such a hard time getting on Flackid if he doesn't just step up and get like fucking flash stunned by volley.
Too strong.
runs in, and 2 is dead, but the burn down.
Spyro, he's a plant!
Oh,
Onto the right targets. Keep your eyes on
This is pretty clever
trapped in the pit.
by Zwairu just pretending to be a honey fruit there.
Where is Spyro?
Razor just goes up and autos him.
oh, okay. Sneaky for the time being. Pop Blossom is there. As he goes
He does get humanoid over the wall. That's pretty good.
Humanoid over the wall, and Mum helps out, but
Yanko's also hero play of this fight.
Spyro is in the middle,
getting back onto Noah. That's absolutely huge. Just chucking him into Smolder and Aatrox. Huge play by Jankos.
Everyone runs in, but all he is letting it around, but it was not enough. They're going to hand another kill over to Flacket. 13, 2 and 5. Big smiles on the faces of...
Yeah, Aatrox and Lee were so much more useful later on, even after that early game. Yeah, but also, like, if they hadn't thrown the game for Gromp, like, they should have been able to transition that probably into a Baron. It's just the compositions, guys, made it very difficult. Like, Volley Renekton are really going to have a hard time having an impact with this much crowd control. You know, when you're playing into Nautilus, Nico, Lee Sin Kick, right? Aatrox in the front line, like, is very, very hard, I think, to get into the back line onto Smolder.